Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
I'm Casey Conlon, and this is a beautiful sight. A mostly dry stretch of the Beartooth Highway. We'll show you the progress as crews work toward a Memorial Day weekend opening.
Plus, Montana's governor proclaims today MMIP Awareness Day. We'll head to Montana State University as they bring awareness to this growing crisis. But first, a family near Big Timber loses nearly everything as their house goes up in flames.
Couldn't get in to save our dog. Couldn't do anything.
Tonight, a warning from the homeowners as they look to save others from the same devastation. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Russ RIesinger. For one family, the last few months have been a living nightmare. First, their house burned to the ground in a fire, and later they found out their insurance does not cover replacement costs, even though they believed it did. Tonight, they're sharing their message in hopes that they can help another family with the fire season fast approaching. Arlena Howder has the story.
This foundation is what's left of the Wood family's house after it was devastated by a fire in March. It wasn't until later when Brenda Wood realized that they weren't covered by insurance for a replacement, and she wants to send a message to all homeowners. Know your insurance policy.
Defeated is my word. I just feel defeated. How do we rebuild our home?
Brenda Wood and her family will never forget March 13th, the day their house and car caught fire. Now there's nothing left.
By the time I got over here, windows were blowing out of the house.
The Woods also lost the newest addition to the family that night, their dog, Loki. Brenda's husband, Brandon, tried his best to save her.
Because when he got here, he couldn't even open the doors. The pressure was so hard. We couldn't save her.
The Woods aren't sure what caused the fire, and they'll never know.
When the investigators came out, there was nothing to investigate.
But the biggest shock of all came after the devastation.
We always knew we were insured, and we had just upped our insurance to cover the bigger side of our house and all of that. But you don't think about replacement.
But the Woods found out they didn't have replacement coverage, a discovery that took even this realtor by surprise. She's now sharing her story, hoping it helps someone else.
My recommendation is no. Know your insurance, know your coverages. You think you're covered, but you don't think about rebuilding.
The Woods are now staying in an apartment in Big Timber, trying to figure out how to rebuild.
Know that in a world where inflation is so high, and the cost of building is almost triple what it used to be, it's devastating to think about how much it's going to cost to replace what we had.
So much lost.
We built this side and made it our home, and it's hard to think it's not here anymore.
But there's also so much the Woods didn't lose. And that's why, as they look ahead, they're also thankful for what they have. Family and a community already helping them rebuild.
I can't say that I would ever live in another community as great as what we've been shown.
Along West Bridger Creek, Alina Howder, MTN News.
A Venmo account has been set up to help the family rebuild. You can find it with this story on our website. A benefit is also planned at the High Horse Saloon in Billings from 5 to 7 on May 12th. The warmest day of the year so far hints at what's ahead in Montana. It's also giving road crews a leg up on plowing our region's most famous road, the Beartooth Highway. Our Casey Conlon got a sneak peek at what it takes to get it open for the season.
It seems strange to say as I'm surrounded by feet and feet of snow, but this is one of the surest signs that summer is just around the corner. The Montana Department of Transportation working hard to plow the Beartooth Highway, which will be ready for its customary Memorial Day weekend opening. Is this a day you look forward to every year?
Every year, Casey. I love it.
Thursday's Beartooth Pass Media Tour wasn't just for us. Mac Long, the MDT director, never misses it.
Our guys have worked hard all year round taking care of Montana roads, but this is a special road.
It's one of the two most sought-after drives in Montana, along with the Going to the Sun Road in Glacier National Park. Hundreds of thousands of tourists drive the pass every year, and almost all of them drive through and spend money in Red Lodge.
A lot of our business comes from people that are going up the highway. A lot of times they'll just go up and come back, have dinner, do a little shopping. It means a lot.
Even more visitors will make the trek up the highway this year for the 150th anniversary of Yellowstone National Park. Crews have been working on the road for a couple of weeks and are actually ahead of schedule, thanks mostly to a small snowpack.
We were down around 72%. The last two storms have us up almost at 90%.
Work also goes much faster these days thanks to this snowcat, a trick MDT borrowed from Idaho. It levels the pack so this machine can eat it up and spit it out. MDT will actually be done plowing their side long before the May 27th deadline, but the Wyoming side of the pass, plowed by the National Park Service, always takes it right up to the edge, so don't get your hopes up thinking it'll open early. When it does, however, everyone is expecting another big summer.
We were busy even during COVID, but we expect a barn burner year this year.
On the Beartooth Pass, Casey Conley, MTN News.
We shift from talking about snow to wind. We have some choppy waters over around Flathead and then also on Fort Peck, but right through the north central portion of the state, stronger winds could be gusting up to around 65 miles an hour. It's all part of a stronger disturbance that'll start to move into the picture. Now we've got wind speeds that are starting to pick up down the east slopes already. Helena up towards Havre. Livingston, you'll start to see the winds increase later in the evening, largely because we're watching this cold front. So we've got rain, cooler air starting to settle in, cold front starting to approach. So we had a really nice warm up today. So the big question of the day was, how warm did it really get? We're going to talk about that in the rest of the weekend forecast coming up.
Governor Greg Gianforte declared today, May 5th, as MMIP Awareness Day. The goal is to use this day to renew the call to protect Native communities and end the crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous people. MTN's Jane McDonald takes us to Montana State University to show us some of the events they put on.
A day to remember those lost and missing, and a student group hoping to bring awareness year-round.
We remember your spirit that makes us sing. We remember your spirit that causes us to dance.
It's an epidemic across, not just the United States, but Canada. And it's something that, the statistics are astounding. And
if you don't know about the topic, look it up. Look up missing and murdered Indigenous people. Look up the statistics, especially in Montana.
And we did. Native Americans represent 6.6% of the population in Montana, yet make up 25% of missing person reports in the state, 4 times their population.
I've met so many students here that don't know what MMIP is, don't know that it's a thing, and same with just the community of Bozeman and, the country as a whole.
Which prompted Malia and Cola to reestablish the MMIP Student Association.
I think the topic today is really just to get a further understanding for those who do not really understand, but just are hearing about this movement.
May 5th is the National Day of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Peoples, featuring a prayer walk and a healing dance. But this club wants to make the message last longer than just one day.
Maybe we can do more, and then maybe someone in the community will want to make a true nonprofit out of that, and just taking more steps towards that.
Implement a lot of different things, including self-defense classes, for all students here, and just safety.
More programming and more steps and more organizations or places you can donate to with local businesses and helps and families who are in need.
So what can you do?
Share a post, just as simple as that, and just reaching out and wanting to know more.
Just say, remember their names. Say their names.
At Montana State University, Jane McDonald, MTN News.
If you're a homeowner, there's a good chance you've looked recently at how much your home is worth. The housing boom continues to see real estate prices set records in many parts of the country. But what happens when your home is undervalued? Our Joe St. George with a look at an issue facing some homeowners and the plan in Washington to fix it.
What type of neighborhood is this?
Oh my God, this is a family. This is a community.
I want you to meet CARLETTE Duffy, who absolutely loves where she lives in Indianapolis. She bought this house for a bargain from a friend in 2017 after it sat empty for years.
There was a fire, a major fire, and so I purchased it for $100,000.
Recently, she was curious how much her beloved property is now worth. She wanted to take out some equity. A nearby neighbor recently got a similar house appraised for close to $200,000, and that is where this story really begins.
I decided to refinance.
Refinancing often requires appraisals, and when her first one came back, her home was listed at $125,000.
I thought that one was low.
So CARLETTE went to another company who valued it at $110.
I'm floored.
Before giving up, Carlette decided to conduct an experiment.
I decided to take this one down.
She removed all the African art as well as family photos, books, even hair products from her home. She got her friend Hank to show the house to the appraiser.
Anything that to me said a black person lives here, I took it out.
When that appraisal came back, the value was listed at $259,000.
This is proof. It was me. It is so painful and so hurtful to be treated like this.
Carlette's story is consistent with data from Freddie Mac. A recent report found 12.5% of homes appraised in black communities nationwide were valued at less than the original cost of constructing the home. Only 7.5% of white communities experienced that. The issue attracting the attention of the White House, with a task force recently announcing efforts to hold appraisers more accountable, as well as better educate homeowners on options when an appraisal comes in low.
The appraisal industry is one of the least diverse industries in the country. In fact, it's over 90% white, 70% male.
Amy Nelson, who represents Carlette at the Housing Center of Central Indiana, says all of this is a good first step, with the appraiser industry recently committing to work to improve their diversity as well.
We all have to work together.
Carlette just hopes her now viral story produces even more change.
This happens every single day.
In Indianapolis, I'm Joe St. George.
Still to come on the MTN 530 News here on Q2. From kayaking to trails, we'll head to northern Montana as we go out and about at one of the state's little-known treasures. But here's what's coming up next.
Hey everybody, Scott Breen at Dallas Stadium, breaking it down with Tammy's Rockers. They'll show us how to do it the right way for Special Olympics. Hi everybody, Scott Breen at Dallas Stadium, breaking it down with Tammy's Rockers. They show us how to do it the right way for Special Olympics.
I think I'm the oldest here.
This is Tammy Grimm, who leads this collection of all-aged Special Olympic dancers.
We include everybody, disability, no disability, and it doesn't matter what your disability. If you're in a wheelchair, you can come join us.
Which they do, practicing every Sunday at Lewis and Clark Middle School in Billings. But this particular Sunday was on the turf at Dallas Stadium, where the Rockers were just a few days from busting moves in front of everybody at the Yellowstone Valley Games opening ceremonies.
It is so cool.
Meet KEIRA Reed, who's 15 and brave enough to give us a sneak peek at what to expect.
Hi, my name is Tammy. I'm 24 years old.
And she's not nervous about the big upcoming performance because she's been here before, chasing medals.
I did track and field here a long time ago, softball throw, and a high jump.
As for dance routines, Tammy says she finds the simplest she can on YouTube.
You see the front row on the white line? They're my volunteer helpers. And we teach the dancers as many steps as they can handle. If they can't handle a step or two, it's okay to create your own.
KEIRA knows what to expect on game day.
On the bus on Friday, and me, all of my class, and do a parade around.
Fast forward to Friday and just look at the miserable weather. Would have been easy to cancel with wind and rain, but no. Tammy's Rockers were all over it, keeping everybody entertained. They're relentless. One of the many reasons she's still teaching moves after 15 years.
You know, when you've had a really long week and you're just down, it's I got to start the whole week again. This group will get you up and going.
And keep you going, rain or shine. In Billings, Scott Breen, MTN Sports.
Coming up in weather, it is feeling a lot like summer out there, but how long will the 70s stick around? Ed will let us know next.